going on, everybody? It is May 21st. It is a Thursday. Hope you're doing well. And today we're going to talk about comic books. Got some interesting news to go over. You know the story with New Warriors. Well, we're going to talk about that because Marvel keeps kicking that can down the road. And I find that absolutely funny because they were so proud of that book. You know, when that book was announced, they thought it was going to be a huge hit, that the whole, NPC crowd over on Twitter was going to go crazy about it. They were going to love it. They were going to go absolutely insane and eat it up. Well, that's not what happened. Instead, it backfired, and it was a hilarious month of just roasting that book. But now the time has come. Where is it? Okay, things are ramping back up. I mean, we have solicits through June and July. The book is nowhere to be found. Now, what I find funny about all of this is that book is finished. It's completed. As far as I've seen, at least issue 1 and probably issue 2 are done, but they're just afraid to release it at this point. I find that pretty comical, pretty funny. It's been a pretty interesting story with that terrible book. At least it's only a miniseries, I guess, but that's the thing that Marvel's been doing for a while now, is when they have books like that, they'll do a miniseries. That way, they can just cancel it. Well, it's already what's going to be pre-canceled. And then eventually they'll probably bring it back for another miniseries, and then maybe they'll try to do a full series. Who knows? The book is going to be a disaster. There was that funny report about 500 issues being ordered to Larry's Comics. I was told Larry Comics is actually closed and that was a troll. So that's actually kind of funny the way that turned out. So check this out. So here's the July list. Marvel is pretty much ramped back up to July. They're back full power, pushing out books like crazy. Like, here you go. You have July 15th. I, Wolverine. I don't know. What a stupid... Why are you doing I, Wolverine? Isn't that kind of like the I thing kind of over? Amazing Spider-Man 44, Avengers 34, Captain Marvel number 17, Empire number 1. Now, this is significant, and I'll get to that. Fantastic Four, Giant Size X-Men, Guardians of the Galaxy, Immortal Hulk, Spider-Woman, and Venom. Okay, this is pretty much a full release day. If you saw my last video where I talked about their release schedule, June is kind of staggered. So for June, they're doing a couple new issues one week, and then the next week they have like a bunch of trade paperbacks and no real new issues. And then the week after that, they have some new issues coming out. They're very staggered. Now, for July, they're ramped back up. They're putting out tons of issues again. Things are pretty much going back to normal. So here's what's interesting about this, okay? So June... I guess since they weren't releasing any Empire books, it kind of made sense not to release New Warriors. Now, Empire is the event that New Warriors is tied into, and the first issue is coming out on the 1st of July 15th. Then we move on to July 22nd. Now you're getting Empire number 2, Avengers, X-Men, and a few other tie-ins are being released as well for Empire. Okay, so that event kicks off officially July 15th. Then we go to July 29th, and we have Empire number 3 already. Empire, Captain America, and Savage Avengers. And the event's kicked off. This is the entire month of July. The book is still not released, and you're already well into Empire. I'm almost wondering if they're going to release this book at all. Now, I went over to Comixology, and the book is actually now pushed to August 5th. So it could finally be getting a release for August 5th. Maybe. This is like the 30th time that they've delayed this book. And it's being released pretty deep into the schedule. There's 5 issues. So maybe it's possibly coming finally August 5th. I find it funny how delayed this book is. I really do. Because if there's one thing that this tells me is they delayed it to avoid the controversy. But let's be honest. By August 5th, no one's going to be really talking about this book. It's just going to come out. There's going to be no press. No one's going to really be making fun of it. And I think they think maybe the storm will have blown over. Unfortunately for Marvel, many of us are going to pick this book. As you can see, I've already pre-ordered it. So even if I forget about it, when I log into my Comixology account, it's going to just magically appear and I will be reminded of it. So everything is going to pop back up for this book. I just find it funny how delayed this book has been. that they're not putting it out. They were so proud of it. And what's funny is how late this book is releasing. So the third issue of New Warriors, or Empire, will have already been out by the time this book drops. And here's the difference between a lot of those other books, like, there was Empire, Captain America, Empire, Avengers, and so on and so on. Those books might just be one-offs. Sometimes they just do one book for a tie-in on the main series. But this is actually a 5-issue tie-in. This is its own series. So is this going to release weekly? Like, I'm almost wondering if they're going to just cancel this. It's possible. You could probably just skip this unless they're a main thing in the book itself. I don't know about that yet, but I just find this funny how delayed it is. Issue 1 should have came out in July. It should have launched around with issue 2 or 3 of Empire, and it's not doing that. So I'm just I'm just wondering, are they going to cancel this book? I don't think they will. I really am curious because that's a heck of a delay. That's a heck of a delay. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Speaking of comic books starting back up, though, Diamond is shipping comics to stores again. As you know, new comics are in stores, I think, this week. My store isn't open, so I'm not sure. I'm going to travel to one that is probably later this week or next week, and I'll pick up some new comics. But look at how these are shipped, and this is embarrassing. And I want to point out that this is not new. Go to YouTube. I encourage you, go to YouTube. Look up these words: Diamond, new comics, damaged. You'll find a bunch of videos pop up, I promise you. Some dating back a couple of years. Go look at how bad these comics are packaged and how these boxes look. It's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. And it's funny. It says fragile right on the box. It sure doesn't look like it was treated that way. This is the treatment of comic book stores. And if you go to a comic book shop, talk to the person who owns it or works there and does a lot of the unboxing, and they'll probably tell you exactly what I'm going to tell you right now. Diamond has always shipped their books badly. They get a lot of damaged books. The problem is sometimes they'll get a box that's so bad they can't stock their own customers because the books will be bent or they have like little damage spots on them, and it's really bad. It's really embarrassing. And what's funny is Lunar, one of the other replacements for Diamond that DC's been using, I want you to look at how they're packing their books. Bubble wrap, very nicely put in there, very well done. And it's funny to me that this new distributor, they're doing such a better job. But hey, don't take my word for it. Let's look at some of the pictures in this very own article here. This is how the box looks. Look how damaged and banged up this box is, by the way. Look at this corner right here. That's terrible. Okay. And then they just put some of this down here, and then they open it up. The comics, as you can see, there's no line in between the two stacks of books. So they kind of bang together the entire time that they're being shipped. And you got to imagine these are moving on trucks and all kinds of stuff, hitting bumps. Those boxes, there's still spaces there. Those boxes, those corners are getting hit constantly. Collectors, they don't like that. It's funny to me that an industry that Diamond Comics, an industry of shipping comics would understand that collectors don't want bent comics. You think that this would be something they think about and maybe line these boxes a little bit better, but they don't do that. Here's the letter that they sent, welcome back, is bent. But look here. Here's the real issue right here. Look at this giant size, this giant DC Comics book. You look at the corner. You see how that's bent up like that? This is really common. This isn't new. This has always been an issue with Diamond. And this is the product that comic book shops get. Look at here in this IDW comic. Look at the corners there. Do you see how bad that is? This is what they're shipping comic book stores. These people don't care. They've never cared about comic book stores. It's all about making that quick buck. And Diamond ships these books cheap. Okay? They probably pay their workers cheap, and they ship cheap. And this isn't a new thing, but it's really funny to me. They're firing back up. They want to stop companies like Lunar here. They want to compete with them. How are you going to compete with this, Diamond? This is primo shipping. Compared to this, I encourage you, Google, or not Google, but go to YouTube and just look up damaged comic books from Diamond or something. Diamond damaged new comics. I bet you a bunch of videos will pop up of damaged comic books unboxing. Because some comic book shops do that. They'll unbox their new shipments because people like unboxing videos. I like unboxing videos. And you'll see a bunch of bent up books. It's really pathetic. And this is what Diamond does. And this is their first week back. And they're shipping out garbage like this. How embarrassing and pathetic. Oh, and by the way, comic books are doing so well. They're so just fine that IDW has decided to let go some of the employees they furloughed permanently. Comic book industry really doing very well. A lot of people out there saying that it's really kicking. Comic books will be just fine. So what do you think about this? Now IDW lets go of employees permanently. In April, IDW made the difficult decision to furlough several valued staff members, and 2 weeks ago, IDW welcomed several of those staffers back full-time. However, as we continue to adapt and deal with these challenging times, we've been forced to lay off some of our longtime coworkers and friends. Although tough decisions like these are an unfortunate business reality, there is never a good time for them. These changes are necessary to ensure the long-term health of the company. So just pointing that out. We'll see. This is going to be a big year for the comic book industry. We will see what happens. I think a lot is riding on the way things turn out. IDW, I don't think, even if everything kind of bounces back, IDW is in such a bad position. They've lost so much money. I don't think that they're going to make it past next year. I think the writing has been on the wall for IDW for a long time. And I think that they're probably done next year. We'll see what happens. They've just lost money every year, and I don't know how long they can stay around. We'll see what happens, though. Anyway, that's it. Diamond, what a shame. I mean, this is some disgusting packaging. New Warriors, when is that book coming? The can has been kicked to August 5th. We shall see if it finally comes out. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave me some comments. Tell me what you guys think. Also, if you would, throw a like up, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that, and subscribe if you're new.